Today we're going to be talking about the mean, median, and mode. We're going to be looking at figuring out the mean, median, mode through a graph. This is a review, so hopefully this is helpful. So over here we've got kind of a pre-made graph. Over on the side here we have number of children. And then along the bottom we have the different family names. So we're going to be using those two pieces of information. Oh, I should hide this. And then right here we have the information that we're going to graph. So let's start off with, over here on the sides, I just put the first letter. There wasn't enough room to write all of them, so they correspond with what you see below. And why don't we actually go ahead and label this right here, families. Alright, so we're going to look at our first family, which has 4 people in it. So if we go up to the graph here, each box is going to represent one person in the family. So, oops. I'm only going to come up to the top of this. And now I've got what we see right here, 4, for the Miller family. Our next family is the Ellis family, and they have 7 people in their family. So we're going to highlight all the way up to 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me go back to the red really quick and shade this in a little bit better. Alright, so if we keep going, we've got the green for the Watkins family right here, which they only have 2. And then if we keep going down the line, we have the Scott family, which has 5. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then lastly, we have the Hanson family, which I will do in gray, and they have 2 as well. Alright, so we've graphed our information, but now we need to figure out how does this work for figuring out the mean, median, and mode. So let's go to a new slide, and I'll have to toggle back and forth so I can record the different numbers. So I know the first family had 4. And then 7252. 7252. So this is our data. And we need to figure out the mean, median, and mode. So when we're looking at, let's start with, we'll call this one the mean. So in order to figure out the mean, you need to do a couple of things. First thing you need to do is add up all of your different numbers. So I'm looking for combinations of 10. Don't see anything off the top of my head. So I'm going to go with 5 and 2 make 7, and then 7 and 7 equal 14, and then 4 plus 2 gives me 16 plus 4 gives me 20. So that's what my total is. So I've added them up, I've got a total of 20. And now what I need to do, so I'm going to take my 20 and I'm going to, let me lower that a little bit. And I need to divide that by the number of pieces of data. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 pieces of data, and I need to say how many times does 5 go into 20. 5 goes in 20. If I count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, that gives me 4 evenly. 20 down here because 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract, I get no remainders. So my mean is simply 4. So again, you add up all of your data, and then you divide it by how many pieces of data you have. Let me put a comma here, because otherwise it looks like 72. So that's how you find the mean for the data that we were just looking at. So the mean for this is 4. Now, if we want to go for the mode, I'm going to stay on this one for a second. The mode is simply the one that shows up the most. So 4 only shows up once. 7 only shows up once. 2, however, shows up twice, and 5 only shows up once. So our mode ends up being 2 because 2 shows up the most. Let's go to another new page. We'll just call it the number. Number that shows up the most. And it is important to remember that the mode can be more than one number. You can have numbers that show up more than once with different numbers. You can have more than one mode. So let's go back. So we've done the mean, median, or excuse me, the mean based on this graph. Now we need to do the median. So the median is also fairly simple. So again, we need to look at our set of data, which was 4. Now we had 7, 2, 5, and 2. So what you have to remember when you're doing the median is you need to put your numbers in order, either from smallest to largest or largest to smallest. Doesn't matter. And we'll do that. I'll show you that it really doesn't matter which way you do it. So we'll do 7, 5, 4, 2, 2, and I'll do it also the opposite: 2, 2, 4, 5, 7. So what you want to do to find the median is you simply start crossing off a number at each end. So I'm going to cross off a number here and a number here. I'm just going to keep going until I can't do one. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. But then I am left with 4 in the median as the median. Again, if I do it here, it ends up being the exact same thing, because 4 is what's in the middle. I try and remind my students that the median is kind of like the middle of the road, that median that separates the 2 lanes sometimes when you're driving, right there in the middle. So the important piece is to remember that you need to put your numbers in order first. So there's a quick review of how you do mean, median, and